Welcome in or welcome back to the channel. We have a special treat for this special date in pop culture movie history. The movie Clue, released December 13th, 1985, is based on the classic board game Clue, also known as Cluedo in the UK. Our very own Clue resident representative Sleuth will serve as the butler to guide you through some movie facts and this island, which is based on both the film and the game. Clue was the first film based on a board game and would later go on to inspire many other board game films, such as the various versions of Dungeons & Dragons, Battleship, and the Ouija series. Unfortunately, at the time, the film was a complete flop. It has only afterwards gained a massive cult following, much like another Tim Curry classic, Rocky Horror Picture Show. The script. The director was very strict about avoiding any deviations from the script. Madeline Kahn, who played Mrs. White, was the only character to actually improv a line, and it was kept in. So the confused expressions you see of Martin Mull, Michael McKean, and Christopher Lloyd were all genuine. Here's that scene.
Yes. Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much. It flames on the side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths.
That was all improvised. So the hallway tile in the design represents the spaces on the board game that you can move. So we've done that on our island as well. You roll the dice, you can move however many places the dice has. The other thing in the construction of the film and our island is the secret passageways. So the secret passageway from the conservatory to the lounge, from the conservatory toolbox or tool shed to the lounge fireplace, we have done on our island as well. So of course we used warp pipes on our island for that. You can see the warp pipe behind the fireplace here. But that means, unfortunately, that we cannot use warp pipes for the other secret passageway, which is the kitchen to the study. So we're coming up with another plan for that. The cars also match their character color like the board game pieces. Mr. Green had a green car. Professor Plum's car was a plum color. Mrs. White obviously drove a white, nice sedan car. Mrs. Peacock's car was like a light blue color. And the piece for Colonel Mustard is like a mustardy yellow, and his car was that color as well. So we do see Mrs. Scarlet's car for a brief moment in the film. It's broken down on the side of the road, so she doesn't actually drive to the mansion. She gets a ride the rest of the way to the mansion by Professor Plum here in his car. So we don't actually see her car at the mansion. This car here that we do see at the mansion and on our island is a black car. You may remember the very beginning of the movie, Tim Curry's character, Wadsworth the butler, is driving a black car up to the mansion, and he parks in this first spot here. So another fun fact that we have, all the placement of the cars and the direction they're facing is the same placement and direction that they're in the movie. So we just have that little tribute, that little nod to there as well. So the guests park their cars, they come to the front door of the mansion, and of course we have our German Shepherd guard dogs here that Wadsworth fed a bone to at the beginning, and also stepped in the doo-doo. Mr. Green came, he rang the doorbell, and he was afraid of the dogs. Wadsworth says, "Sit!" He thought he was talking to him. Obviously he was talking to the dogs, but Mr. Green did sit on the bench there. Entering the mansion proper, we've got the hallway here. On either side of the door inside the mansion, there were these two statues that were holding like some kind of bulbs, so this is our representation of that. The cook rang the gong when dinner was ready. First room on the right here is the study with the orange couches here. We have the pieces for Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe here. And here is our Colonel Mustard house. He is not in right now. We will catch up with him later. The next room on the right-hand side is the library with all the books. And in this library on our island, we have the pieces for Mr. Green and the revolver, at least the closest thing that this game has to a revolver. The next room is the billiard room. We've got all our pool tables, and of course the billiard room is where Yvette the maid met her demise at the hands of Mrs. White with the rope. The last room on the right is the conservatory, which is the little garden. It's got the plants and garden seats and tables with a nice little relaxing vibe here. Next to the conservatory, we had the ballroom, lots of room for dancing, and there was a piano in the film as well, accurately replaced. The first room on the left-hand side is the kitchen. The cook was watching an old black and white TV while she was preparing the dinner for the guests. Also in the kitchen is where the cook met her demise with the knife at the hands of Mrs. Peacock. So we've got those pieces in here. Connecting to the kitchen is the dining room, and in the dining room here we also see our missing candlestick. Then off to the dining room we have the lounge. Professor Plum with the wrench are the pieces in this room. And also here is Mrs. White's house. This is our Mrs. White on our island. Let's go see what she has to say. Great Gatsby. She's also, we call her Gatsby Duck because she does look like a 1920s flapper. Oh, that's right. We did catch a tiger butterfly. If we post some outtakes, you'll see that that whole aggravation. All right, so that's our Mrs. White. So our secret passage in the kitchen was behind the freezer in the board game and in the film. So we've got our freezer represented by the cute white wardrobe here, and it actually goes back behind here and loops around the whole mansion to the study. So we've looped that around here. But in what we're realizing now, we've looped it around the west side of the island, which means we now have to go around to the front of the mansion, which, I mean, you can't really make a secret passage in the front of the mansion. So we might decide to change the loop to go to the right instead of the left to get us behind the mansion around on the east side to the study over here, because that's where it comes out. So another thing that they built in the film was the staircase to the second floor and the attic. So the staircase was right next to the dining room, set back a couple spaces from the dining room entry here, as you can see. So the second floor is where Wadsworth and Mrs. White investigated, whereas the attic was where Yvette the maid and Mr. Green investigated. So the attic just had some old furniture and sporting equipment and just some random storage stuff in there. The second floor had a nursery or children's room, and then right next to it another kind of bedroom, which is where Wadsworth investigated, whereas Mrs. White had the nursery. There was a clock in between both of those rooms, because when they both peeked out to make sure that they weren't being attacked by the other, they were looking past the clock at each other. So we've got that built in here as well. So let's catch up with our Colonel Mustard here. A chance encounter at the aquarium. We finally tracked him down. He's like talking some deep thoughts like Pascal. Some cast facts. Did you know that Carrie Fisher was originally cast as Miss Scarlet, but she had to drop out before filming because she had to go to rehab? Were you ever a fan of the pop group The Go-Go's in the 80s? If so, you might recognize the singing Telegram Girl. She was none other than Go-Go's guitarist, Jane Wiedlin. We'll look at her scene here.
I am your singing telegram.
There is a werewolf connection as well in Clue. So the original director of Clue was none other than John Landis, who you may remember directed An American Werewolf in London. When he decided to direct Spies Like Us instead, he suggested that screenplay writer Jonathan Lynn direct it instead of him. So we do also have that werewolf connection on our island, but it wasn't because we knew this fact. It was happened by accident, because this Island is not only themed after Clue, the board game and movie, but all other British things as well, like Sherlock Holmes, murder mysteries, Murder on the Orient Express, and of course, American Werewolf in London. And here we have our Werewolf in London. Ow, Werewolf in London. He's so cute. We love Lobo. He's our resident werewolf. And we do have the full moon back here, so he remains in his werewolf status. Well, with that, we have exhausted the 6 facts in this video. 1 plus 2 plus 2
1
plus
plus
1.
2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only one shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus 2.
Oh, wait. 1
plus
plus
1.
1. Oh yeah, we do have another fact to give. So the endings. The home version of the film shows us all the multiple possible endings, all inclusive in one film. But customers who went to see the film in theaters were only privy to a single ending. This caused confusion among patrons who would describe a different ending from a fellow patron. And it also kind of diminished the positive outcome of the film as well, because people were confused by these endings. With that, here is the real ending of this video. Please like and comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.